Hello, Darren here, and a mini milestone this week. We're a quarter of the way through my 52-year musical trek, stopping off this time in 1984. There's a playlist on the channel that'll show you how we got here, but spoiler alert, I'll flash up a list of my 13 first quarter album choices in the outro section of this video, so avert your eyes if you're working backwards or something. Anyway, as usual, my near misses for 1984. The biggie for me at the time was Frankie Goes to Hollywood and Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. My first full-on pop music obsession, age 12. The pop phenomenon of 1984. 3 singles, 3 number ones. Mixing up apocalyptic dance rock with high NRG trimmings and pomo concepts and sloganeering. Provocative, transgressive, that barnstorming Trevor Horn production. This was their year, no question. A few retrospective ones now to go alongside last week's bollock drop when I included the Husker Zen Arcade in my 1983 choices, when it was, of course, released this year instead. My bad. Lots to keep track of. It won't happen again. As penance, 2 equally great releases on the SST label that go toe-to-toe with Zen Arcade. And the first of those, the Minutemen's, Double Nickels on the Dime, the band's defining album. A double, 80 minutes of pure genius. Nothing more to add, really. And second, always the Bridesmaids in the SST loving. That's the Meat Puppets and their second album, Meat Puppets 2. They're best by a whisker, I think, and a trippy country punk monster, mashing hardcore psychedelia together and baking the result in the Arizona sun. A couple of UK albums just missing out too. Ocean Rain by Echo and the Bunnymen, maybe their best. But then again, Crocodiles. Packing in 3 top 40 singles. That's The Killing Moon, Silver, and 7 Seas. And a personal favourite herein, I Often Dream of Trains by Robin Hitchcock. Surreal, Python-esque humour, wavery, acid, folk, ramshackle, whimsical, and some unexpectedly poignant bumps along the way. Hitchcock newbies, start here. But no, my choice for this year might be the first album I ever bought with my own money. I say might because I bought something else at pretty much the same time, and I couldn't tell you exactly which came first. Either way, I'm fairly sure I actually picked this up in 1985. I'll reveal the other one next week, but I'm giving it a pass. I loved the lead single off the album. The band loomed large on my radar, and it's my list, my rules, so there. Enough already. My backdrop's probably giving it away anyway. This is the Unforgettable Fire by U2. The first of many U2 albums I pick up in the 80s, both subsequent and previous to this one. And that single that got me started was Pride in the Name of Love, a number 3 hit in September 1984, their highest singles chart placing at that point in time. And this was the heyday of the big music, a name taken from a single by the Waterboys earlier in that year, and an offshoot of post-punk guitar music that revelled in the epic, earnest, heartfelt, full of big gestures for big stages, no room for shrinking violets. Think Simple Minds, Big Country, the Bunnymen maybe, the Alarm definitely. Music built for the times really, the serious issue-focused campaigning side of 80s pop and rock was about to step up to the plate. Band-Aids, Do They Know It's Christmas, topped the end-of-year charts, and oh look, there's Bono, belting out one of the most memorable lines in the whole damn song. And fast forward to 1985, Live Aid, Wembley Stadium. Who's that single-handedly stealing the show? U2 and Bono. Cometh the hour. Looking back, there's a kind of inevitability to U2's rise at this point in time. A perfect coming together of a big presence, a huge voice, skyscraping guitar lines, and issues everywhere. Famine, tensions in Central America, apartheid in South Africa, the Troubles, unemployment, poverty. Which is why, in a lot of ways, The Unforgettable Fire is a pretty odd record to be releasing in 1984. The combative, chest-beating drama of 1983's War album felt like a full stop. U2 were looking to change things up and settled on the production duo of Brian Eno and Daniel Lanois to help steer their new direction, to forge a new sound. And it's this uncertainty, this sense of feeling each other out, Eno and Lanois encouraging experimentation, playing things loose, versus the band's by now very tight, well-drilled rock band instincts. This tension, this uncertainty, defines the record completely. There are still mile-high, arms aloft anthems here. Pride, the spine-tingling slow build of Bad, the glorious title track, but it's the supporting material that highlights how the band, Bono in particular, were ceding a lot of control to Eno, that signature bombast being redirected into some pretty odd and uncomfortable places. The lyrics tend towards the skeletal, the impressionistic, semi-improvised, yanking the soapbox from under Bono just as he was reaching for the stars. Side 2, side weird if you like, is held up as a kind of heroic failure in this respect, but with fresh ears, I hadn't listened to this album in ages, I think it's pretty great. The crawling, ambient instrumental mood piece, 4th of July, is creepy, atmospheric, oddly disturbing and nightmarish. And the tumbling freeform instrumentation and associative wordplay of Elvis Presley in America push Bono into emoting in a completely unique, faltering, hiccuping style, a sound we'd never hear from him on record again. And closing side 1, Promenade pulls a similar trick, but prettier, less rowdy backing. It's really quite lovely. Slideshow, seaside tone, Coca-Cola, football, radio, chants Bono dreamily over an elongated fade-out. But when I think back to 84, 85, playing my cassette, I still have it, I can't find it right now, on my brand new Walkman, a cheapo crown like this one. No Sony for me, but I loved it all the same. My eyes shut, headphones clamped over my ears, listening alone in my bedroom. I hear that thumping, hammering rhythm of the opener, A Sort of Homecoming. The edges, chattering, echoed guitar lines careening around me in glorious stereo, and Bono singing. And you hunger for the time to heal, desire time, and your earth moves beneath your own dream landscape. And my breath catches. This was my escape. The escape I was dreaming of, but I couldn't articulate to anyone. I re-listened to this, prepping for this video, and I was quite honestly overwhelmed. So strong were my kind of buried memories of this band, this specific album, that time in my life. I adored U2 for a while, that time when their hugeness felt inspiring and not like a sales pitch, when they offered real escape and not an overpriced night out watching some kind of stadium rock, Cirque du Soleil. It's been a long time since I listened closely to U2. Can you tell? But playing the Unforgettable Fire again, I hear those big emotive messages loud and clear, shot through with a sense of spontaneity, an atmosphere of unpredictability and abandon that they never managed or ever sought to repeat. The band's creative dance with Eno and Lanois felt more constrained by the time of the Joshua Tree. And that album, as much loved and as fated as it is, feels somehow cordoned off, stage managed when I hear it now. Maybe I'm just older, more cynical, and it was me that changed, not U2. Okay, so that was 1984 and U2, The Unforgettable Fire. These are the kind of albums that this series was meant to really highlight. It's really not something I've listened to very much in 20, 30 years, but it was a big deal to me at the time and a big part of my lifetime of listening. Thanks for sticking with this video this far and this series if you've watched more than one of them. Yeah, do think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this kind of stuff. And that's me done with this episode. Do take care, and I hope to see you again on the channel very soon. Bye for now.